Hi, welcome to my YouTube channel. This is Kim, and I wanted to share my mini album that I made with the St. Nick graphic 45 paper that I got from Country Craft Creations. I did not do something that I had done before, so this was kind of a learning experience for me too as I was making it. There's going to be a tutorial that follows the walkthrough of the mini album. Throughout the tutorial, I will tell you that I use 10 envelopes and do 10 of everything. Then when I put it together, I counted and I only have 9 envelopes. So I don't know if one of the envelopes walked away. I don't know if I don't know how to count, but I ended up with 9. So here is the side view. You'll notice that there is no hidden hinge binding system. This is envelopes, the 6x9 clasp envelopes. There's the back. And so it stands up on the spine. So it's got a 3-inch spine to hold it up. And then here's the top. I have some seam binding to close it. But the front, this mini album measures, it's 6.5 across and 7.5 up and down. And I used some of the cutouts and mounted them on chipboard to give them some dimension on the side here. I also adhered some metal snowflakes that I had. On the left hand side, I made a rosette out of the paper line and put the number 25 on with some chipboard numbers that I had. I've added a little spray of pearls and a seam binding bow right here. I do have the grommets, that I used to punch holes in the front and the back to hold the seam binding where I tied it closed. And then on the back, I just used 2 of the cutouts from the paper and added some ribbon bows at the top. But because this doesn't lay on its back, I thought it was okay to add the 3-dimensional items. So when you open it, you just untie it, and you can see that it is an accordion style. Okay. Accordion style. And so 9 pockets. So again, when you follow the tutorial, there is a missing envelope somewhere. I always say 10. I think 10 would have been totally fine. I don't know why I didn't put 10 in. And I counted it after I put it together. I was like, okay, where's the 10th envelope? And I counted it like 50 times. There's still 9. I don't know where it went. So anyway, so there's 2 different styles of inserts that I used. And the first style is just very basic. And I wanted it to be for a lot of pictures, so I did not decorate a lot. One, there's no room when you put them in the envelopes, so you have to be very careful that you don't over embellish and that things kind of need to be flat. So I used the paper line stickers and paper basically when I was decorating. So this has a flat front, and then when you open it, there's a top that it's just flat, and then I did add a pocket down here, and here's some of the cards from the paper line that I put in there, and I did not put any paper on the back. Again, I was very conscientious about not making it too thick. So when I made these, I made them 5 3/4 wide, and the envelopes are 6 inches wide. If I were to do this over, I might drop it down. Instead of going 5 3/4, I might go 5 1/2, just so that there's more wiggle room when you're putting it in the envelopes. I can put them in just fine, but I do have to look at it and kind of work with it a little bit. If it was 5 1/2, I don't think I'd have that problem. So you can follow my tutorial with the 5 3/4 width, or you can adjust and go 5 1/2, whatever works for you. So I'm going to bring this up close, and this one goes in the back envelope, and that's the one that's adhered to the chipboard. So it's very flat, and you just slide it in, and these go in just fine. Now the next style of insert has more depth and thickness to it because I added a pocket on the front. So when you flip this one up, I have a pocket that has some expandable room, and then it's a magnetic closure, and then you lift up, and then you have the solid top, pocket bottom, and then you can put the cards from the cutouts. Okay, and again, I did not put any paper on the back just so it didn't get too thick. So these require a little bit more wiggle room. That's why I said I would probably go down to 5.5 if I made this again, so that when I'm putting it in the album, it goes in fine, but you do have to sometimes work with it just a hair. Let's see. See, it didn't take long at all. Okay, so I'll just real quickly go through and show you some of the other styles. I just used the paper line. Graphic 45 has such beautiful paper that I didn't have to add that much. And again, I went every other insert. So one insert has no front pocket. The second one does have an outside pocket. The third one doesn't, so forth and so on. Okay, so I'll put that one back in and I'll take out the next one. Has the outside pocket. I made it so that there is a hinge on the side, so you have some, it's not so tight. And then you open it and it has the pocket at the bottom, so you can put the inserts and plenty of room for a picture. Back, no paper. That one goes in here. Okay, again, accordion side. The next one, I'll go through these really quick because it's just the same thing repeated. I'm not going to put them in just to save time. I love this paper. Pocket. And then you lift it up. Pocket at the bottom, nothing on the top. Next one is the plaid, and I added a sticker from the collection. Pocket on the bottom. So when I make this, I was thinking something that would be fast and easy but hold a lot of pictures. I didn't want a lot of decorating because at Christmas time I want the focus to be the pictures that I take of the kids and my family. So that one has the pocket with the magnetic closure. And my 9th one, supposed to be the 10th one, still can't get over that. Here's the front and the inside. Okay. So if you continue to watch, the tutorial is going to follow on the dimensions of the book. It's going to have how to make the envelope accordion. It's going to show you how to make the insert, the 2 different styles, but I don't show you the matting. So I'm pretty sure that you guys can cut out the paper and mat it. But I'm happy that I like how it stands up like this. Sometimes I like a variety and not always using the hidden hinge or that binding, the hinge binding. So this was just something different for me to try. It was pretty quick. I made it in a weekend. So continue watching and decide if you want to go with the 5 3/4 width of the insert or the 5 1/2. And then you would have to adjust the measurements if you went with the 5 1/2 width. So hope you enjoy this. Anything that you see here, most of it I did purchase from Country Craft Creations. Excuse me, I did not purchase it, not this time. I do buy from her store, but this was from the box she sent me in the Creative Design Team box. So I feel very fortunate that I am able to work for her, and she sends me beautiful things to work with. So the Scor-tape I used, the seam binding, the glitter glue, all can be purchased at Tammy's store. So keep watching if you are interested in making this St. Nick Graphic 45 accordion mini album. Thanks for watching, guys. Leave me a comment if you have any questions. All right, I'm going to show you how to make the base pages, actually the pockets that go in the mini album for the St. Nick. So all of the pockets came from a 6x9 clasp envelope. And so all I did was chop it off at the top so that I had a 5 inches tall, and these are 6 inches across. So it's a 6x9 envelope. And I just cut it so that it was 5 inches high. And then I'm just going to discard these. So I have 10 of these. for my album. So 10 pockets. And then they didn't come in black. I happened to be at a garage sale and got a whole big box of them for super cheap. So I don't know if they come in sets of 12 normally, or if you can just go to like Office Depot and get a whole big box like I have. But anyway, I thought it was faster than making them by hand. But now I didn't like the color with the St. Nick paper. So I went ahead and I'm going to use the Distress Ink Black Soot. And I'm going to go around the edges on the front, the back, and I'm even going to go on the inside and try and get a little bit on there, just because it bugs me if I open it and see all the craft color. So I just took my dabber and I'm just going to go around all the edges so that it, because when you put this in your album, you're not going to see the inside because they're going to be adhered to the envelope pocket in front of it and behind it. So it doesn't really matter that you're not going to ink up the inside middle. So this looks like about a 1/2 inch border that I'm doing around the edge. Now I'm going to do the other side. And I just go in swirling motions. And if you do get some in the middle, you know, like I'm going to get my hands all blacked up from the ink. It doesn't matter if it gets on the inside middle, so no worries there. Stress-free crafting. So keep going around these edges. I've had this St. Nick paper for a while now, and I've been racking my brains on what do I make, and I kept going back and forth on, do I make an organization system, you know, like use a cereal box and cut it off and then alter a notebook and put it in there, and a pocket, like a folder for like sales ads at Christmas time, and then make an envelope for receipts, and the notebook would be where I write things down and then just put them in there. I went back and forth with so many different ideas, and finally I thought, you know what, people are busy this time of year, so let's do something that's cute and fast and that will hold a lot of pictures, because you know we take a lot of pictures at the holiday. And I came up with this. So to get these sides, because I can't stand it if I don't get the sides, I just kind of bend it a little bit. Give it a swipe on both sides. So I'll kind of open it, bend it, and just kind of give it a swipe so I get those corners, because that would drive me crazy if I could see the color. And this isn't perfect, but it doesn't have to be. I'm going to have to do this side a little bit more on the corner. Dauber there. I could take it off the dauber thing and just use the sponge, but then I get my hands so stinking dirty I can't stand it. Okay, so I have 10 of these for the St. Nick, and these are going to be adhered to one another so that they spread open. And I have already put adhesive on the backs of these so that they attach to the envelope behind them. And then the front envelope is actually going to have a lot of tape, and the back one is actually going to have a lot of tape so that they adhere to the covers. Okay, so all of these, where's the one I just did? Did that already have tape on it? Nope. Oh, there it is. So I do use the Scor-tape for this, and you don't want to put your tape along the very edge because you need to give it some space to breathe and to move open. So I did about a 1/4 inch, a 1/4 to a 1/2 inch on the inside borders so that it gives it some give. And I'm going to tell you that I watched one of the other design team members' videos. Her name's Lori. And she uses this tool to cut the Scor-tape when she's laying down the tape on her folders or her mini albums. And oh my gosh, it saves my fingers. That is the most smart thing. And I was like, well, I wonder why she uses that. Well, I started using it and I'm like, duh, it's fabulous. Saves my fingers, and you usually get a cleaner tear off. I like it. I don't necessarily use it with the 1/4 inch, because that I can get a pretty clean tear from. But this 1/2 inch Scor-tape is fabulous to use it. So, all right, and then I didn't use it. Okay, so all of them on the back have enough adhesive so that they can be attached to the other ones and expand. Okay, and then like I said, I'm going to go back and put a bunch on the front and the back. So now I'm going to adhere my envelopes to one another. So you just got to peel off all the score tape and line everything up so it's nice and neat. So I might just kind of like stand it up on its end to see that they meet. And what I mean is like stand them up like this. Well, maybe not. Yep, maybe I will. You just kind of butt them up to each other. Kind of put your fingers along the side to make sure that they're... And then I got my new score tool. It's a Teflon score tool, and it's the square. And I kind of dig it. I like it. Give it a good score, and so see, it'll be attached real nice like that. Okay, so I'm going to keep adding one on top of the other. Again, there's a total of 10, so you'll need 10 6x9 envelopes. They're 5 inches tall and they're 6 inches across. Okay, so again, I'm going to kind of stand it up. Use my hands to kind of guide it to make sure they're meeting at the sides there. Push down and burnish. Okay. Get to do this 10 times. It is raining here today, and so I was making, getting this ready earlier, like cutting my pieces and having things organized, and I ran out of black paper, so I had to go out in the rain and go get some more black paper because the blacks don't match. Like I had other black paper, but they were not the same brand, and so they were just a hair different. I'm going to move this. I'm done with this. Or you know what? Maybe you can see better if I leave this on, because I'm working with... I'll just leave it. It's not going to hurt anything. Nothing like being decisive, right? Okay, so I just want to check it, see if it's, yes, fabulous. Okay. Keep adding. There we go. And okay, so I am trying to convince my husband to let me go to Tammy Merrill's. She's having a spring retreat in Utah where she's going to have some people from Bo Bunny and Authentique present, and we're going to make things, and there'll be a craftology box. And I happen to have spring break the week of March 20th, and the spring retreat is March 24th, 25th, and 26th, I believe. So I can't drive down there, because if I leave Sunday to get back to Nebraska, it's like, who knows how long, too long for me to drive, especially by myself. So I would have to fly in order to be back in time Monday, so I can go back to work. I teach school, so I can't, after having a week off for spring break, I can't really take Monday off. So I'm thinking, okay, if I flew down Thursday night, got there, I'd be ready for the activities Friday. And the food is included in the price, and the materials. I'd have to pay for my airfare and my hotel room, but I totally want to go. So I talked to him about it tonight. So I said, there's this retreat that I want to go to. He's like, what, here in Nebraska, here in Omaha? I'm like, no. It's in Utah. He's like, Utah? I said, yeah, I've never done anything like that. I've always wanted to. I'm on her creative design team. Come on, think about it. And it'd be kind of nice to get away by myself. I'm not going to lie. Not going to lie. So I just kind of left it at that, and I'll let him think about it, see what he says. But I know that it would be a great time. I would love to meet the other design team members. I know that Kimberly Murray, I don't know if they call her Kim or Kimberly. Sorry if I'm calling you the wrong name. Kim, Kimberly, that's like me. My full name's Kimberly, but they call me Kim. Anyway, I'd love to meet Tammy in person because she's always so sweet and nice on her live videos, and she's been nothing but fabulous to me since I've been on, well, even before I was selected for the creative team. She just seems like a super awesome person. I'd like to meet her. So it's not till March, so I have time to convince him. I'm pretty sure he'd let me. It does make me nervous, though. I haven't ever flown by myself without another family member going with me. And I'd have to rent a car to get, because I think leaving I would land in Salt Lake City, but it's in, oh geez, what's it called? Now I can't remember the name of it. Layton, Utah. I think that's like a half hour from Salt Lake City, so then I have to rent a car and find, I don't know, the older I get, the more nervous I get, so I'd probably be a basket case, but okay, so there's our 10 envelopes, because I want this to hold a lot of pictures, so that's why I chose 10, and that was super fast, super easy if you use the 6x9 envelopes. If you don't if you don't have them, or you want to use black paper, those should be real easy to make them on your own. So, okay, so I'm going to set these aside, and now I'm going to let's take a look at the inserts that I put inside of those envelopes. So, because we have 10 of the envelopes, you're going to need 10 pieces that were cut at 5 3/4 by 12. So they're 5 3/4 across, 5 3/4 by 12. So I used 12 by 12 paper for these and got 2 out of each 12 by 12. Okay, you need 10. And you put it in your scoreboard with the 12-inch going across, and you do your score at 6 inches. Then I used my bone folder and folded it in half, and this is going to be like our base page to put inside each envelope. So I do want them to hold a lot of pictures, but I also wanted it to be easy. I wanted it to be fast, but I needed a little bit more pizzazz, so I decided to go ahead and put an inside pocket here. So the measurements for that inside pocket, you're going to need 10 of these. And because this is 5 3/4 across, you have to add an inch. So it's 6 3/4 across, because we're going to score at a 1/2 inch on each side. And then I did mine, I cut them 3 inches tall. And then you're going to score at a 1/2 inch along the bottom. So your pocket ends up being, when you adhere it, 5 3/4 across by 2.5 tall. Okay. So after I scored it, I burnished the sides. I put my score tape along the edges, and then I cut out the corners where the 2 score lines met, and I kind of did them at an angle. And I also angled the top. And I'm going to adhere that to the bottom of the inside piece. So I take the sides off first, and then I stick the bottom piece up, and then I'll take that on the bottom piece of score tape, and I'm going to line it up with the bottom. Make sure it's lined up, and then I lay it down flat, and I burnish so it lays flat. I like this because it covers a lot more area than the other one. I have another Teflon. One. Look how black my hands are when you work with that black paper. And I like this one too, but this one you just get more coverage. So I really like it. Okay, so some of my inserts, I just stopped there. Graphic 45 paper is so beautiful that I wanted the paper, to stand out. So I didn't put anything. I didn't want my pockets to get too tight, or so there wasn't enough room. So 5 of the inserts are just like this. Open them up, 1 pocket, that's it. But on 5 of them, I wanted there to be a pocket on the outside that if you wanted to put something inside, like if you're using this to store receipts for each person, then you take a picture of what you purchased for them or them with the gift. I wanted a pocket like that would close. So then on the outside, to complete those, outside pocket. So you're gonna need 5 of 5 3/4 by 4 1/2. 5 3/4 by 4 1/2. Okay. Then you're going to put the 4 1/2 inch side along the top of your scoreboard, and you're going to score at 1/2 inch so that you have that lip. Okay. And I am going to put Scor-tape on there, and this one's the 1/4 inch. And okay, so that's going to be at the bottom. But I also wanted there to be some flexibility in that pocket. I didn't want it to be closed tightly. I wanted to be able to open it a little bit so that it had some give. So I know there's different ways of doing it. Some people cut their paper a way that they make it longer on each side and do the scores, and they cut off the bottom piece so that the sides are attached. I did like little brackets instead. That's just easier for me. And so you're going to need 10 of these because you're doing this to 5 of the inserts, and I only did it on half of them. So you need 2 of these for each of your outside pockets, and these measured, give me a second, I'll find it. I can't find it now. 2 inches across and 3 7/8 long. Okay, 2 inches across, 3 7/8 inches up and down. And then I put it in my scoreboard so that the 2 inches was along the top, and I scored it 1/2 inch, 1 inch, and 1 1/2 inches. Okay, so you need 10 of these, 2 per pocket. I'll say it again just because that's how I roll. I have to repeat myself. I'm used to it teaching school. So 2 inches across, 3 7/8 inches up and down. Put it in your scoreboard, and you score it 1/2, 1, and 1 1/2. And then you accordion fold it. So when I did that, it looks like a W or a bird. Okay. And so I've done that to both of them. So I have 2 of them. Okay. And then the last piece is going to be the top flap that comes down, and that one is, let's see, 5 3/4 by 3 1/2. 5 3/4 across, 3 1/2 inches long, up and down, and then you put it in your scoreboard with the 3 1/2 inches along the top, and I scored it 1/2. Okay, then I did round the corners with a corner rounder. Okay, I am going to use Scor-tape on this flap also. I'm going to actually use the glitter glue on the attachment pieces. Okay. All right, so I'm going to take my insert piece and make sure that you have it the right direction. My pocket's down at the bottom. And the first thing I'm going to do is adhere the bottom. So take off your tape and line it up. Let me get in the camera with the bottom, as close to the bottom. Okay, and then I open it up and I just kind of burnish it so that it's down real good. Okay, so that piece is first. Then I'm going to do my side hinges, and when you insert the hinges, you want it to look like the number 3 instead of a sigma. Isn't that a sigma, Greek letter sigma? Anyway, you want it to go the inside. I don't know if you can see. Yes, like that. You want the want to be when you squeeze it, you want that on the inside. I don't know how to explain it. Does that make sense? You don't want it so that the mountain is on the outside. There we go. We want the mountain on the inside. So I'm going to put glitter glue on one side, and then I'll adhere it. Oh my God, I'm running low on this glue. I need another bottle. I love it. Come on. Hope we have enough to get through this. There we go. Loving this glue. I know I say it all. I've said it on my other videos too, but I'm a fan. Okay, I'm going to open this up. Make sure you don't have any overhang when you lay it down. And I'm just going to hold it down for a second. Okay, and then I'll do the other one. Again, the mountain will be on the inside, and I know from experience you don't want it the other way because it doesn't lay right. I originally did it that way and had to take it apart. So learn from my mistakes. Don't do it that way. Okay, and we're going to line it up. Don't want any to overhang. Okay, and just hold it down until this dries really fast. And now this is we're going to put adhesive or the glitter glue on the hinge on the outside and fold it up so that we have a pocket. Okay, so now I'll put the glue on the outside. Make sure I can see. Oh my goodness, I'm running dry on this. But you know what? It has lasted a long time because I use that fine tip. I don't waste as much and I get the right amount on. And so I have been able to use it for a lot of projects. So it does go a lot farther, I think, using this fine tip. Okay. So you can see that I have glue on each of those, and then I'm just going to fold it up. I kind of pinch it in on the bottom so that it doesn't buckle. Okay, just kind of hold it there for a minute. So now it's not tight. You have some give in your pocket. See, there's a little bit of space. Okay, so now the flap that's with the rounded corners will adhere to the top, but I'm going to put it upside down when I put it on just because it's easier for me to see it and make sure I'm lining it up correctly. Okay, to the end, to the end. And then I'll open it up and burnish it. Okay, and these have the magnets. Okay, so I'm going to place a small magnet here and a small magnet here so that it will stay closed. I'm not putting magnets on the inside because they're standing up and down like this, so they're going to, gravity is going to keep this part, it's going to be fine. So just for right now I'm just putting what do you call it? Magnets here and here. So I can show you, let me go, hold on, I gotta go get my magnets. Okay, so these magnets are smaller and they're the basic gray, and I get them from Country Craft Creations through Tammy's store. I don't think a whole lot of places sell them. She might even have the exclusive rights now or something because I don't think they make them like they were. And they're fabulous. They're the right thickness, they're the right strength. So I'm gonna grab, my hardest part is getting them out of this container. Oh. So I'm going to get a plus and I get a minus, and I use Scor-tape to put them on. My 1/4 inch score tape. So I connect them. Okay, so I put the two magnets together, and I'm just going to put a tiny piece of score tape on the back, like tiny, tiny. And I'm going to put score tape on the other side, just a tiny piece, because they're smaller magnets. Okay. And I'm going to take one of them off, the score tape on one, and I'm going to place it in the center. So let's see, I'm going to do it somewhat. I just don't want it to, you know what, I think I'm going to place it on the bottom to make sure that I get it in the right spot so that it actually touches. I'll put it up top in the center. I'm going to give it a squeeze, and then I'm going to take this off, the score tape on the other side, so that it attaches. Come on, baby. Get that off there. There we go. Okay, and then I will just close this, pinch, like push down so it adheres, and then when you oh, I'm so stupid. I forgot to take off the plus and the minus. These are like stickers. There's already adhesive. I forgot. Okay, I better take that off. Okay. Sorry. I forgot these are like stickers. They already have adhesive on them. Ay, ay, ay. Rannels. Okay. So I put them down and push down on the top. Sometimes I tell you what, this old age is getting to me. Okay. So then when you open it, you've got your magnet here and your magnet down here. And then I'm going to put some score tape across the top to keep them in place. And that's pretty close to the edge, so I'm gonna have to make sure that when I mat this, it goes up. It's gonna have to be a little bit more. My borders will probably only be about 1/8 of an inch instead of 1/4 of an inch like I normally border. Okay, so then I will mat this, and I will take off the backing of the score tape, and then I'll mat it so that it keeps it in place. Okay, so when you open it up, you've got a little pocket with some give to it, and then when you open it up, you've got this pocket, and you have plenty of room to mat, to put your pictures in, and to store little things in here like the calling cards or pictures or whatever. So 5 of them have the outside envelope, 5 of them do not. And the reason is just for, you know, just for variety, but also so that you don't get too thick inside your book. Okay, so those are the base pages that go inside. Now I'm not going to lie to you, with the thicker, the one that has this pocket on the outside, when you put it in here, you have to be careful. Like you're going to have to, it's a tight fit is what I'm trying to say. It goes in, oops, sorry. It's easier when it's actually in the book. Okay, and then this slides down. Okay, the ones that don't have this outside envelope obviously fit way easier, and you don't have to kind of work at them a little bit. So we have our envelopes accordion style. We have our base pages, one with a flap and one without, but it still has the inside pocket. Okay, so there's 5 of each of those. And so now it's time for the outside cover. And let me throw away this. I have all this. Just a second. Oh, the backing to all the score tape. I like a clean area. Okay. So now it's time for the cover, and my black paper, I took 2 8.5 by 11 sheets of paper, and I used 1/2 inch score tape, and I put a strip on one end of one and a strip on the other one, and then I just adhered them together because one sheet's obviously not going to be long enough. So I used 2 8.5 by 11s and taped them together in the middle. Okay, let me put my pin back in my glue. The pin helps keep it unclogged. Love it. And the tip comes with it. When you order it from Country Craft Creations, she sends the tip so that you can have that fine tip with it. Just a little FYI. Okay, chipboard for the cover. You are going to need 2 pieces of chipboard that measure 6.5 by 7.5. 7.5, 6.5. Okay, 2 of those. And then I wish I had those full sheets of Scor-tape that I got in one of my my last creative team box that Tammy sent. They're like 6x6 sheets. They're awesome. You don't have to sit there and peel each one separately and lay them down. So it's a big time saver, but I didn't have any. So I had to do it the old-fashioned way and use my 1/2-inch Scor-tape around the edges and on the inside. So there's one. Here's my second one. 6.5 by 7.5, 2 of them, chipboard. Okay. And then I did my spine at 6.5 by 3. In the past, I have been known not to make my spine thick enough, and then I regret it later. So I figured better too big than not big enough. And so I did 3 inches across and 6.5 down. Okay. So I am sure, well, I'm not sure of anything, but I think you have probably seen how you wrapped the chipboard for the cover. So I'm not going to show you everything, but I will give you the basics. You are going to place your chipboard, take off the sticky, and place it at about so that it has about a 1-inch border on the paper. And some people measure and draw lines. I'm usually not. I usually don't do that. But you can. So make a tick mark at 1 inch here and a tick mark at 1 inch here, and like draw your lines so that you know and you can get them straight. I usually eyeball it, but that's me being lazy probably. But with this paper, I'm not going to trim. If it's a little bit more than 1 inch, I'm not trimming it. Okay. So then I'm also going to put a 1/4 inch piece of Scor-tape in between my spine and the other side to help me with spacing. And then I'll put another piece on this side. Oops, sorry. I'll put another piece of 1/4 inch Scor-tape here. And again, that helps with the spacing that you need to give it some wiggle room. And then I will glue or tape this one down. Okay, so that it looks like this laid out. Can you see that? Okay. And then you just bring it up. Oh, cut the corners. Sorry. I'm not going to do this on camera because I have to really get close to it. And you'll see my head in the camera and it'll embarrass me. So you trim the corners to miter the corners, and then you wrap them around. Okay, so I'm going to do that off camera. I'll come back on and then I will follow up with the rest with adhering the accordion envelopes to the cover. Okay, all right, hold tight. I'll be right back. Okay, so I went back and I finished my cover by folding in the sides. I also put some of the pattern paper on the inside. And so you're going to want, for the outside, you're going to want to put your, adhere your seam binding on the front and on the back, and then put your, what do you call it? Paper on top of that so that you have that closure, that tie. But you want to put that on before you put your paper. So the last step that I'm going to show you, I'm not going to go through the matting and all that kind of stuff, but I am going to show you how to adhere those envelopes into your mini album. I have never made this kind before, and so I'm hoping that the 3-inch spine was the right way to go. You can adjust that as you want. But I'm going to put the envelope, notice how I put all that adhesive on the front and the back, because that's going to stick directly on the cover on the back. and then it's going to stretch. Let me find that last one. It's going to stretch open to the front. So it's going to be easier, I'm hoping, to get the pockets in and out, or the inserts in and out. Okay, so I've decided to go up about 1/4 so that they're not dragging on the bottom of the mini album binding. So I'm going to go up about 1/4 of an inch. And let's see, how do I, yeah. Okay, so this is the back, and this will be my front. So you're just going to take off all of the backing of the Scor-tape, which is time consuming. I wish I had those sheets. Like I said earlier, those would really save time. Just one pull of a piece of tape and the whole thing comes off. And usually having fingernails, I can get those off pretty easy. I know a lot of people use their knife, that knife thing, whatever it's called. I can never think of the right words when I'm on. Come on. Okay, here we go. So I'm actually putting the final walkthrough at the beginning of the video, and this after the tutorials, after the walkthrough. So I have not seen, I'm still in the process of making it, so I really haven't seen the end result because I didn't make one ahead of time, and as like a sample, I just thought, I'll do it all at once here and see what happens right along with you guys. So fingers crossed, people. Here we go. So the book is going to stand up like this. Okay. So it's not sideways. The binding's not on the side. The binding's at the bottom. So I am going up about 1/4 inch. And I'm going to center it on the side so I can see the same amount of paper. Okay. Give it a good push. And I think I'm going to get my the long Teflon bone folder and open this back page and just so that back page isn't going to have much give because that's down flat. The other ones will have more give in the middle, but that back one won't. Okay, so now this will spread open and it's going to be adhered. Okay. You can see the sides. So now I've got to adhere it to the front the same height up that I did the other one. So I'm doing it about 1/4 of an inch. Now this is the side that could be interesting now that I'm looking at it. So I might have to like do it from the side and like lift up like that to get it to adhere. I don't know. We'll just have to play it by ear. This is learning as we go. So maybe you should watch this all the way through before you start yours to make sure that this works. Wouldn't that be terrible if we went to all this work and then you get to the end and it's like, oh, this doesn't work. I think it's going to work. It's like a science experiment. Oh, okay, I'm nervous. Here we go. All right, so I have the adhesive off. I'm going to look at I'm going to have it like this, and I'm going to put my hand inside of that pocket, and I'm going to eyeball it and bring it up. And I'm going to push it down now. And I'm going to put my bone folder in there. Okay. Huh. Looks a little weird. Doesn't have the nice... Wonder if I shouldn't have put so much adhesive on that one. Okay, I'm going to try it and see what happens. So this is the one that doesn't have the envelope. And I'm not going to put them all the way down. I'm just going to... Okay, and this is the one that does have the envelope. Or not the envelope. Yeah, the envelope on the front. Make sure I can get that one in. Excuse my hand. Yep. Okay, so I got 2 of them in there. This envelope in the back probably should have one without the envelope. Let me see. Yeah, I'd probably put the one that doesn't have an envelope in the back. And then I'm just going to stagger them every other one. So I'm going to finish this, decorating the insides, and we're going to see how it turns out, and then it'll tie up here. So this is the walkthrough of how to make it. The walkthrough of the finished product was first. Even though I haven't seen the finished product yet, this is where we're at so far. So hopefully that was helpful. Hopefully you'll be able to figure out if it works for you, if you need to change any of the dimensions or the sizes. Yeah, hopefully that works. Okay, I'll finish it and put the finished video first. Thanks for watching. Let me know if you have any questions. Remember, you can buy the St. Nick paper at Country Craft Creations along with the glitter glue, the Scor-tape, and the seam binding. Thank you for watching. Leave me a comment if you have any questions. Bye for now.